Debs Kay here. Thanks so much for joining me and welcome to my little studio this week. Sorry I've been a bit quiet here on YouTube, been busy over on my Patreon channel and we've been having a poppy party. A little late in the season, but I couldn't let summer go past without doing some poppies. So we've been doing a series over there where we're painting 7 mini paintings or small paintings, and then 7 different ones, different styles, different looks, and then at the end of it we're going to take one of them large. So what I thought I'd do is share some time-lapse versions of what we've got going on over there. Hopefully you can join in with us and have some fun. It's been great fun painting these little paintings, and I've had such a lovely time with the poppies. So do hope you come and join me. I'm going to start off today with day 1, which is our Let's Get Prep day. Let's get prepped for success, so that when we come to the easel each day, we can give ourselves some time at the easel and just crack straight on. Now initially when I did this series, I was going to sort of give myself a half an hour time limit, but for me it's kind of almost impossible, I think. So in general I spent about an hour each day on these paintings, and painting small is such a great way to improve your painting, and painting every day. So if you can kind of carve out yourself 7 or 8 days to to concentrate and be at the easel for an hour a day, or if you're a whizzy painter, half an hour, but as I say, really great way to improve your painting, and really great to be sort of dexterous with those pastels, to be able to get into small spaces, because even if you paint large, often you want to be able to get into little a portrait, for example, you want to get into tiny little spaces in there. So this is a really good exercise, one for just getting up there at the easel, letting all the worries about it go, because ultimately I'm using scraps of paper. Usually I cut off big sheets, I have big sheets of paper and I cut them up into the sizes that I want, so invariably I've got scraps of paper, but if you haven't, you take one of your larger sheets and you can chop it up into sizes, but it means that obviously you're not spending a fortune, you're not going to be wasting too much time, too much money, too much on of anything, even possibly a painting that you're not so keen on. So as I say, painting small, great way to improve your painting. So if you can, come and join me. We'll start off today with how I started off the series, which is preparing, getting ourselves prepared so that when we get up at the easel, we can just crack straight on. All right then, so without further ado, let's get value studying. So here we are with our little collection of our 7 little photographs that we're going to use as inspiration for our paintings. If you'd like to download these, pop on over to my Patreon. If you sign up as a free member, I've got them there for you, so you can just kind of download. No cost involved. You can just go over and download them if you're going to come and join in with me, which I hope you will do. So the first thing we need to do is obviously turn these photographs into our value studies. So we're going to start with the first one we're going to be doing, which is the one up to the left hand side there, first up. So let's have a look at that and see where we're going. So before we start putting pen to paper and whatever, the first thing I want to do is look at the reference photo which we've got here and ask myself, what do I love about this photographic reference? What do I want to convey? What feeling do I want from this little painting? And so for me on this one, I absolutely love the translucency of the poppy, and I love the morning light coming up and sort of, just the little bits of dew, and also the gesture of the grasses. This was lovely soft, gentle scene. So they're really the main things that I want to convey. I want a nice, soft, gentle scene with this beautiful poppy just greeting the sunshine. Now, for me, I think composition-wise, poppies for me are nice and tall, as I mentioned later on. They're tall and willowy, so I wanted to get that feeling. So I'm going to elongate the picture a little bit, and my scrap of paper that I've got is 5 inches by 4 inches. Now, obviously, you can choose a different composition, and obviously things you love about the reference photo might be different from mine. So, you look at any of these reference photos and see what you can find that you love and what you want to convey. All right then, so without further ado, let's get on to that value study. Okay, so we're going to start off with doing our first thumbnail. What I'm going to do is show you kind of how I do this first one, and then obviously you can take yourself from there. As you can see, I've got this on just like a toned paper, It's a Strathmore tone grey paper there. Usually, you know, as you can see here, I usually kind of have a sketchbook around me, and everything goes in these books. You know, but so you can use a tone paper, or as you can see here, you know, last week we just used white paper. Basically, all we're wanting to do is establish those areas of light and dark. So let's get going. So, you know, obviously we chatted about our story, you know, on what we want to, you know, what really appealed to us about this painting. Now for me, you know, with this one, I just love the morning light. I adored the colours, you know, sort of my colour palette, these lovely soft mauvey greys and things. Absolutely love them. But the first thing I want to do, you know, is look at this composition. Now I love the photograph as it was. I think it was absolutely beautiful. However, for me, poppies, you know, they're tall and they're willowy, and they're, you know, I often wonder how on earth they, you know, they sort of survive with this, you know, with the wind and all sorts of things, because they've got these lovely delicate stems. So I wanted to get a little bit more height, because that's it for me. I think they're tall and willowy, really. So I wanted to bring a bit more height to this. So what I'm doing first thing off is the first thing I want to do, I'm making this sort of like 4x5 format, or 5x4, sorry, 5 height by 4 wide. So what I've done, as you can see there, I've kind of split my split this up into a very quick grid there, just to give myself an idea, so that I know where I want this. You know, this is the star of our show, this beautiful poppy here, which is catching the light. It's waking up, it's first up, you know, it's saying, come on folks, wake up, it's absolutely beautiful world out here. So I wanted to get this in the kind of focal point. And if we think about composition, you know, if you're pretty safe if you divide your page into thirds like this, and you have your focal point, you know, in any one of these kind of four points here, then hopefully you'll stand yourself in good stead. So as I say, that's my focal point. So what I want to do is I just want to give myself a feeling of the gesture of these. I enjoyed the gesture, you know, these sleepy ones, they've not come into bloom yet, and they're all beautiful. So and I love these. I love the fact that it's got those grasses and they're all sort of that lilac-y purple and things. So really enjoyed that. So what I'm doing is I'm just sort of like popping in there where I think, you know, the main things are going to be. So I've got you know, pop my horizon line in there. Now these grasses, you know, I love the feeling of these grasses sort of coming over, and you know, sort of leaning, everything's sort of leaning over, and it's a real nice gesture. But as I say, I did the grid because obviously I'm elongating the picture, so I want to make sure that everything kind of is in a good place. And normally I start off with a charcoal stick. You can use anything you like, a pencil, charcoal stick, you know, pieces of pastels. Really what you want to do is just get your tonal values in. So normally I will start off with a little bit of colour just to get me going before I come in with those sticks, you know, with because for camera this will be difficult to see for you, so I'll come in and use some markers to fill this in as I have with the others. So, but as I say, what I want to do is get the gesture, get the feeling of where I'm going. You know, I will do this even in these little thumbnails. You know, for me, it's easier for me to just scribble and kind of get the gesture of things and then see where we're going. So as you can see, you know, we've now changed that format now, and I've elongated it. Now I took my time sort of doing the sketch well, you know, as I was going there, because obviously, you know, we want to make sure that our composition's as we want it before we go. So you're now going to see me, I'm going to pop a little bit more charcoal in there, charcoal pencil in there, just to give me a guide. I really like to get the gesture. Now, you know, and the feeling of things right from the get-go, even if I'm doing a little value study. I like to, you know, sort of of feel where the painting is going to go, because it helps me when I come to actually do the painting, because what you see me doing is I'm looking up and checking my reference photos, squinting my eyes and seeing where those levels of light and shade are, and making sure that I'm kind of happy with that composition. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to come in with some markers, and we'll just get a couple of values on there. I'll be working mainly from dark to light, just with 3 different values, and then I'll pop in with a little white charcoal pencil just to do some highlighting there. Now, I did my little sketch there. Obviously, as I say, I like to get the gesture, but also because I changed the composition. If I wasn't changing the composition at all, I probably wouldn't do that sort of like an initial process you just saw me doing there, and I'd just come straight in with the markers. So I'll be quiet for a mo, pop a little bit of music on, and you can watch this last value study come together. All right then, I'll see you in a mo. So there you have it. I've got my little value study there. And as you can see already, it's looking like a little painting. The trees are looking in the distance, grass is to the foreground, and the poppies where I want it to be. And I'm happy with the composition. I feel that's going to make a nice little painting. So there we have it. So now let's go back to the reference photo and have a look at the colours. Okay, so let's go back to the reference photo and have a look. Now, with this particular reference photo, I actually just want to go for the colours that I see, really. I really enjoy these sort of mauvey, lilac-y purples and pinkies, and really, really lovely. And the lovely soft poppy. As you can see on this one, what I've done is I actually used an app here just to do some colour picking, really. Because sometimes, colour can be a bit confusing. So it's a good idea sometimes if you've got an app that does it, you can go to an area and colour pick. And all the colours there you can see I've picked out of the painting. So those are the colours that I sort of like, have picked out from the photograph itself. And as I say, for me personally, I love the photograph colours. Obviously, you can change it up. You can, do any colours you want. Just as long as you get your values right, your colours don't really matter. So if you want a, brighter, more vibrant one, that's absolutely fine. But obviously in this particular reference image, this was taken in the morning. We've got the morning dew, and the morning light is usually much cooler than the light as you get on through the day. So just bear that in mind. It tends to be a little bit cooler in the morning. So if you change the colours up, keep a fairly cool palette, and you should be fine with that. All right, so that's our first one kind of done with regard to, colours and things like that. Now, obviously, I've used an app to sort of colour pick from the photograph. If you don't have an app, just hold your pastels up to your, on your iPad or, tablet or whatever it is. Hold your pastel colours up to the areas, and you can pick your colours out that way. But for now, I'm going to use this as my base. So I'm going to go off to my little box of colours, little gorgeous little sticks of gorgeousness, and see if I can find some colours along similar lines. Obviously, I might not have them all, but I'm going to try and go as much as I can as the reference. So a really nice, simple scene to sort of get us going. A single poppy. Fairly simple colours there, not too much going on, all blending together. So pretty chuffed with that. So here you can see I've picked out the colours from my goodie box. This is as close as I can get to what I have. You'll also notice there that I popped in a few greens. Whilst they didn't come out in the colour picker, I can kind of see them in the reference photo. And obviously, all these grasses are actually green. So I might pop a couple of those in there. Obviously, might expand on those as we actually get on painting. But that's what I'm starting off with. And I want to try and keep it fairly limited. Obviously, we're only a little small space, so we can't get that many in there, surely. So obviously, we've all got different colour palettes, and get similar colours if you're looking for that sort of feel, as close as you can from your own palette, or if not, change the colours up altogether. So there you have it. I think we're pretty much set up and ready to go. We've got our photo reference, we've picked out some colours, and obviously we've done our value study there. So set up to go for first up in a couple of days. But I'd really love to, for us to have sort of 7 clear days at the easel where we haven't got too much to do other than just paint away. So I'd like you to take the next couple of days to go through the rest of the photo references and do all of your value studies. Sit down by the sofa or whatever and just scribble away, get your value studies done, and give yourself an idea of your colours. Obviously, you're not going to be picking them out because we're using different colours for each painting. But you can give yourself an idea of the colour palette you want. Obviously, look at your compositions and things. I'm going to show you mine so you can see what I've chosen. What I'm choosing to do, but obviously I do encourage you, to have a go by yourself, rather than just copying mine exactly. Have a go at yourself, look at the photo references, see which image, see what captures you about the image, what composition you want to do, and obviously, create your own value study. Obviously, if you want to do it exactly as I have, if you're just starting out and would prefer something to follow along, I'm going to quickly run through what I have actually done on my value studies, and then you can choose to use them if you wish to. All right then, so let's go and have a look at where we are so far. So here we can see I've got my value studies for all my little 7 paintings, and as you can see there, I've just put next to them the sizes that I'm choosing and the compositions that I'm choosing. Obviously, as I said earlier, if you want to use what I've done, just go straight with that, or if you want to make up your own, feel free. But that's what I'll be doing. And so, as I say, I'm already set up, ready to go at the canvas. So I'm going to be back. I'll come back tomorrow, but obviously you can take your time and join in. This is going to be up here, so you can join in at any time you want. When maybe you've got a few days that you can carve yourself out half an hour or an hour a day to have a little go at the easel. And as I said earlier, this is an absolutely brilliant way to improve on your art. Painting small, great way to get your dexterity. I can't think of the word. Dexterous. Going with your pastels, getting them into small spaces, working little wonders of magic on little tiny pieces of paper. So I do hope you come and join me. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope you've kind of learned something along the way. Get yourself prepared. Sit down by that sofa. Get your little markers out. If you haven't got any markers, obviously you can just do it with a pencil. Your value studies with a pencil, just using different pressures. You don't need all the fancy stuff. It's handy if you've got it. Charcoals are handy if you got them, but if you haven't, just do it in pencil. All right then, so as I say, going to leave you with that. I'll be back tomorrow, and here on YouTube I'm going to be sharing a time-lapse version, but not too fast tomorrow of the first one. After that I'll just have to give you snippets, or else my dear Patreons that support me, it's a little unfair on them. So for tomorrow's one, I'm going to give you a nice reasonable length video tomorrow, where you can come in and join me. You can get a good gist of what I've got going on, and then you can come and join me over on Patreon if you fancy it, or if not, you can watch the little speedy ones that I'll be popping here on YouTube for the rest of the week. All right then, so thanks so much for joining me. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give me a thumbs up. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help me. As I've mentioned before, I'm based in France, and so my videos aren't naturally getting shown to all you English speaking folk out there. So any likes or any interaction you have with me really helps me, because then it kind of tells YouTube that there are people out interested in what I'm doing. All right then, so thanks so much for joining me. Have a lovely few days. I know we're late in the season, but I do hope you'll come and join me for a poppy party to send the summer off with a smile. All right then, thanks so much. I wish you a lovely few days or a lovely evening, and I'll be back tomorrow. All right then, happy painting.